Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time. So, in a world that feels more polarized than ever, who actually gets to decide what's true? In this explainer, we're going to dig into that using a really famous conversation to unpack a system you deal with every single day. It's a system that decides how truth gets the official stamp of approval in our society. And, this affects everything from who you trust in the media to how you see politics. Now, this conversation, it might look like it's just about religion, but if you really dig in, you see it's a perfect case study of something much, much bigger. It's about a fundamental contest of authority. Think of it as a battle between two ways of knowing, one based on evidence and the other based on identity and certainty. And this isn't some abstract debate. This is a conflict that's happening all around us all the time. All right, let's dive right in. A contest for reality. First, let's really get to the heart of what this conflict is all about. So, the arguments we see happening out in public, they're usually not about one specific fact. Nope, it's about something way deeper. The real fight is over who gets to set the rules of the game, who has the legitimacy to define what's real and true in the first place. Okay, two rules for truth. You can think of this contest as a clash between two totally different operating systems for figuring out what's true. So on one side, you've got the system where knowledge is always a work in progress, right? It's provisional, claims have to be testable, and doubt is actually a good thing. It's how we find our mistakes and get closer to the truth. But on the other side, well, that's a system where knowledge is handed down, it's revealed. Claims are protected by faith, and doubt isn't a tool, it's seen as a moral failing. I love this quote from Dennett because it just nails the logic of the evidence-based system. It's not blind faith. It's the opposite. It's faith that is continually tested and corrected. So knowledge isn't just built, it's constantly being pressure tested. Doubt isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. And then you have the flip side. Harris calls it a perpetual motion machine of self-deception. What he's getting at is that this other system can create this incredibly powerful closed loop. When believing without evidence is seen as a good thing, a virtue, then any criticism from the outside isn't just a factual disagreement, it gets reframed as a moral temptation, something you have to resist. All right, Section 3, the unjudged courtroom. This is crucial because we have to talk about the environment where these two systems are clashing. See, public debate, it's not some neutral space. The modern media landscape, the stage for all these arguments, it has its own incentives. And those incentives reward conflict, they reward certainty, and they reward getting your audience fired up and on your side. It's not a system built to find truth, it's a system built to grab and hold our attention. And this brings us to the key metaphor for understanding this whole thing. Imagine a courtroom, but with no judge. The verdict isn't based on evidence or law. The verdict is just the applause from the crowd. Whoever gets the most applause wins. That's what these public debates often turn into. A contest where public approval becomes the truth. Okay, moving on to Section 4, patterns of conflict. So once you see this dynamic, you start to notice these really predictable patterns and feedback loops that just pop up over and over again. And this feedback loop is absolutely key. Here's how it works. Someone makes a claim based on evidence that questions a protected belief. What happens next? That challenge gets reframed. It's not a factual dispute anymore, it's an insult, an attack. The media, loving the drama, amplifies the feeling of offense. And what does that do? It solidifies the group against the attacker, which ironically makes the original belief even stronger. And you see these common tactics all the time in this unjudged courtroom. Things like framing doubt as a sign of weakness, or appealing to mysteries that can't be solved just to muddy the waters. What's so fascinating is that these tactics aren't designed to win an argument with facts. No, they're designed to control the terms of the debate itself, to make your opponent's best tools like doubt and evidence look weak. Which brings us to our final section, a new perception. So what's the big takeaway here? What changes when you start to see this system at play? Well, the goal isn't just to pick a winner in these debates. It's to understand the game itself. This conversation gives us a new lens, a way to see the underlying structure of these conflicts. And that's really the point, isn't it? Because once you see the rules of the game being played, you're in a much better position to navigate all the information coming at you. This project is free and publicly accessible. If you'd like to support the time, tools, and research behind crisis and perception, you can become a supporter on Patreon. For a longer audio-based analysis of this topic, see the deep dive linked in the description. If you enjoy this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.